What's up? My name is Meredith, and I'm going to be talking to y'all about the nervous system. So, the nervous system is a complex of cells and tissues that are responsible for transmitting signals throughout the body. And so, we'll dive right in. So, the nervous system is split up into two main components: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So the central nervous system has two main components, the brain and the spinal cord. And so the brain is the control center of the body, responsible for processing information and making decisions. It controls the higher cognitive functions, like thinking, memory, and emotions. And the spinal cord is a long cylindrical structure that extends from the brain down through the vertebrae, and it serves as a pathway for communication between the brain and the rest of the body. So, some structures in the CNS are the brain and the brainstem. And so, our brain is the size of a grapefruit and usually weighs about 2.9 to 3.1 pounds. It's located in our skull and is divided into two regions. The largest part of the brain is located at the top and is responsible for thought, action, and sensory processing. And then the cerebellum is located at the back of the brain under the cerebrum and is involved with motor control, balance, and coordination. Our brainstem is about 40 to 45 centimeters long and 1 to 1.5 inches in diameter. And then it runs from the base of our brain through our vertebral column. So, our next component we have is the PNS, or the peripheral nervous system. And so, the main functions or components in this nervous system is our nerves, somatic nervous system, autonomic nervous system, sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. So, basically, the nerves are a network of sensory and motor neurons that carry signals between the CNS and the rest of the body. The somatic nervous system controls the voluntary movement of our muscles. The autonomic nervous system regulates involuntary functions like heart rate, digestion, and respiratory rate. The sympathetic nervous system prepares our bodies for that fight or flight response. And the parasympathetic nervous system promotes rest and digestion. So, some structures in our PNS are the cranial nerves. And so they range in size from like small with tiny fibers to larger with optic nerves. And then they are located from the brainstem which then connect to our head and neck and facial structures. And there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves. So, some other structures that I found in the nervous system were neurons, glial cells, and synapses. And so, the neurons, they are functional units of our nervous system. They range from a few micrometers to over a meter. And this is a picture of what a neuron would look like. The glial cells help protect, support, and nourish the neurons. And so they also vary in size, but they're usually smaller than the neurons. And then all the way to our right, we have signal transmission. Oh, we have synapses, which is where signal transmission occurs. And they usually range in size from 20 to 40 nanometers. So, next we have some basic functions of the nervous system. So, we have sensory input, integration, motor output, homeostasis, and cognitive functions. So, sensory input helps us gather information from our sensory receptors throughout the body, like our sight, sound, touch, taste, smell, so like the five senses. Integration is where the brain and the spinal cord process and interpret the sensory input. So that's where they process our five senses, which lead to us then having the appropriate responses to those touches. And then the motor output transmits signals to muscles and glands to initiate the physical response or bodily functions. Homeostasis is maintaining the balance in the body, such as regulating temperature, blood pressure, and pH levels. The nervous system is the cognitive functions of the nervous system are responsible for learning, memory, decision making, and then emotional response. So next, I'm going to be talking to y'all about the disease that impacts the nervous system. And I actually found it super interesting. Guillain-Barré is something that my mom actually had, and so it was cool getting to dive deeper and figure out and learn more about it. But basically, it's a condition where your immune system attacks the nervous system. And so in this picture over here on the right, you can see like this is what your usual nerve would look like. And then whenever an individual has Guillain-Barré, it's like breaking down the nerve, which then affects your whole nervous system. And so the symptoms are usually pins and needle feeling in the fingers, toes, ankles, or wrists. Individuals can't walk usually because they have weakness in the legs that then spreads to the upper body. Like it says here, unsteady walk or not being able to walk or climb up stairs. They have trouble moving their face, like speaking or chewing or swallowing, and usually they have double vision, or they have trouble moving their eyes. And so the impact that Guillain-Barré has on our body is, it's like a rare condition where the immune system attacks the peripheral nervous system, the PNS, leading to muscle weakness, tingling, and potentially being paralyzed. It often starts in the legs and can progress upwards, which affects the breathing muscles in severe cases. And so the damage disrupts the nervous signals, causing issues with reflexes, motor control, and functions like heart rate and blood pressure. And so usually recovery is possible. It can take months to like a year, and some individuals may experience long-term weakness or sensory problems. But quick treatment is very crucial to manage these symptoms and prevent other things that could happen. And so I have some treatments here that are usually super helpful when you have Guillain-Barré. Obviously, you go straight to the hospital, but you get plasma exchange or you get an immunoglobulin therapy. And so plasma exchange is basically where your plasma is removed and separated from your blood cells so that the blood cells that are then put back in your body can replace the plasma that was removed. And this whole process basically just gets rid of the antibodies that were attacking your immune system, and replaces it with better ones. And then immunoglobulin therapy can help your basically someone can donate healthy antibodies and you are given them through a vein. And so high doses of this can help block the damaging antibodies that can lead to the contributing disease. That it can help remove the damaging antibodies that were leading to this disease. And so last but not least, I have my resources, and that is all. Thank you.